Welcome back, everyone. Today we're in the Giants editor, and I'm Jewel. And as you can see, we're on the Jewel's Peaceful Valley map, and we're working on the main farm area. We've already done the manure heap here, and we're going to go ahead and do the liquid manure. We're going to put it over here just temporary, just to show a video. I'll probably be rearranging some things as we go. And the slurry option should be right there. That's the slurry option. And then we got the manure heap here. We added that afterward. This is separate from the building, but you need to put it near the building as you saw in the other episode. But let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. We're going to go ahead and get what we need. And what we're going to do is go in game briefly and get the coordinates or the information for the placeable XML. So let's go ahead and go in to the game itself, pick out a save game and remember which one it is. So we're going to hop in. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, there's a lot of tutorials in my playlist of Giants editor stuff, and you can learn how to do a lot of different things for map making for Farming Simulator 22. So check that out, and if you like simulator gameplay, I have some of that as well, quite a bit, so check that out. Alright, so we're going to pop in to here. Hopefully it hurries. There we go. Alright, number 12. We're going to hit continue. We got to remember that that's number 12. And don't forget that. If you have to, write it down. Whichever one you choose. Because that's the one you're going to be going under. And then we're going to get the information we need after we place it on the map. So it shouldn't take too long, hopefully, to load up. But in the meantime, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel, helps me know you want to see more of these tutorials. If you've gotten any help, it'd be great support if you would subscribe and hit the like button so that other people can see the videos. It pops it up in the algorithm a little bit better so that they can get the help they need. But I appreciate everybody. We're just gonna move right along, and hopefully I can keep the video pretty short just to keep it where it's easy to follow. Um, we're doing a lot of work on the Jules Peaceful Valley map, so stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot of roads and stuff after I finish some more of these buildings, so stay tuned for that. It's taking a minute. Shouldn't take too much longer. There we go. Let's hop in. Alright, so now we're in, and as you can see, there's the manure heap. And what we're going to do is just go under P, as in Peter, click on these three lines, double click them, and double click construction. And we're going to hit silo extensions, and then we're going to come down. And let me see what we got here. Okay, so in this case, we're just going to click on this one. Let me see, do we have a regular one? We might have one. Liquid manure tank. Alright, we're gonna go with this one and see. I think that one's the base one, the base tank. So let's click on this one and put it down. And what you're gonna do, if you were doing it in game, you would pick where, somewhere nearby there, because you can't go too far away or it won't work. It's a certain distance. I'm not sure why it's still showing it working, but whatever the case, I believe there's a distance that it's got to be, but whatever. This one might actually work further away, but you can't put it over anything. You need to put it kind of near there. It doesn't have to be right by it, but somewhere near there. So we're just going to stick it here for now, just because I made a little flat spot for it. But this is just temporary. I'll probably be changing all this most likely. It's just to show the video how to do it. I had a subscriber ask how, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to place it here. We're going to hit escape. Excuse me. And as you can see what it looks like, it's got these icons. Now, I want to show you something real quick. Go to the silo extensions. Okay, we don't have enough money. Okay, I have to hit escape. And we put that one down, and I want to show you that it shows an icon. Well, let me find it. See, and it has it where you can visit it. Okay, but the manure heat one we didn't have a place. It tags it, but for whatever reason it don't let you visit it. So I don't know why I didn't show that on the last episode. I forgot. But anyway, um, the silo extension. Let me see. Let me get out of here and do this, and we'll see if we can get enough money and get that one real quick. Forgot how much it was, but that should be enough. Alright, let's get the silo extension one and show you what I'm talking about. This one doesn't have, if you put it down, doesn't have icons. And from my understanding with that, this one, you draw it out of this slurry area. So if you have a thing already there, you could throw an extension to it and it don't have its own icons like this one does, but you get this stuff from here. So basically it connects that one to there from my understanding. So when you're putting down one like this and you want the icons, you need to use the base tank, the one we just put down, this one here. Alright, so we're going to get out of here. We got to hit save. It's going to give us that information and we can move on to the next step. But anyway, make sure it's saved and then hit quit and get out. And then we'll get the information, put it in the placeables XML, and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so we're going to minimize this. We're going to come on over here to this. Documents, My Games, double click, Farm Sim 22, double click, number 12, double click, go down to Placeables XML, which is this one, even though it doesn't say it the same as it used to say it. In my previous videos, they changed the icon and everything when I updated something. So, alright, right click, edit with Notepad++, grab this, drag to the bottom. Now we don't want to grab the extension in this case. So as you can see, we have the extension one, and we don't want to grab that one because it doesn't connect to the i3D the same way that this one will. So this base tank one is the one you want to grab, that line of information, so you can get the icons. If you were to grab this one, what would end up happening is, I'll show you when I get there. It'd be easier to show you than try to explain it here. But anyway, we're going to grab this line of information. So what you can do is click at this right here, this placeable spot on the line that you want the liquid manure tank, and you'll see where to grab in between there. So you're going to grab at the end of this one and up to that. So click left right there, mouse button, hold it down, drag it over, lift, pull up to there, let go, right click, hit copy, and then we're good. We don't have to get this one because in this case we're not putting that one. Now my assumption is if you're just putting it as an extension and you don't want the icons, then you can still use it and it'll do it. It just won't have the icons. So don't be confused and think it's not working, because it just don't have icons. It connects apparently through the slurry thing somehow, because this is an extension and they're allowing it to connect there, I guess. That's my assumption and understanding, at least, of it. This one has its own icons and trigger or whatever spot. So it pulls from the right spot and has that information there. So we're going to get it, and we're going to go to our placeables XML. So we'll just go ahead and we can X out of this now. And even though it took me there, I'm going to go back, show you how to get there. Click on here, Documents, My Games, Farm Sim 22, Mods, double clicking all these, the map you're working on, and in your case it might be Maps, Maps US, and then the Placeables XML. My case is XML and then Placeables XML. Yours might be different, just wherever your Placeables XML is, that's where you go. So now right click, edit with Notepad++, and you can see we have the manure heap one here, and we'll click at the end of this one here, above this last one. We don't want to get rid of it, and then hit enter, and then right click at the front and then hit paste, and now it's in line. And it also has and we didn't load anything, so it didn't change anything, but if you'd have tested that in game, it would have had some different information here, and you don't want to do that. So you want it to be blank, straight out. Put it down. Don't do anything with it. Don't add animals. Don't change it. Essentially. Now you need to check the ID. You can either get rid of it. Supposedly you don't need it really, but if you do leave it, then just make sure that the same number is not duplicated up here anywhere, or you'll have an issue. So we look like we're okay. So now we need to add some information here. We have farm ID 1, that's fine. We need to add the default information because it is our main farm. So we're going to do that. We're going to highlight this up to the end without this little greater than, I believe it's a greater than or less than sign. Right click, copy, come back over here and going to click right at this one area here and right click and click paste, and then you're going to just click back over here and space it one and make sure all that's still there and you're good on that. Alright, now you can get ready to get your numbers, but you got to bring it in before you get your numbers. So you can hit save in the meantime if you want to, that's fine. Just hit save. Now we're going to go back to the Giants editor. Time to grab the thing and put it in here. So we're going to hit File, Import, go to D drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps. Now if yours is on C drive, which it could be, might be under Program Files 86, and then Steam, and then Steam Apps, and then Common, and then whatever one you have, and then Data, and so on. So mine's under D drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps. If your game is not installed that way, go wherever your game is installed. Common, double click, Farm Sim 22, double click, Data, double click, Placeables, double click, Lizard, double click, go to the Liquid Manure Tank, double click. Now here's the small extension that I was explaining don't have the icons, and that comes out of the little slurry thing from my understanding. If we open it, you can see it don't have an i3D. Okay, if you back off of it, you could click on the base tank one. The large extension one has one. The base tank one also has one, but this one doesn't have one. So if you click on this one, this is what comes, and then you click on that, and you can click open. Okay, and in a minute I'll explain more about that. And again, when it highlights, make sure the main group's highlighted and hit Control B as in boy, left mouse click, left mouse click. Now you can put it where you want it. We'll say it's going to go over here. We don't want it too close over there, but you know, this right here is going to be should be where the icons are going to appear. So just put it wherever you situate your ground for. This is just for a tutorial sake, so I'm not leaving it like this. But that doesn't, even though it don't look right, it's enough information to get what you need, okay? So don't worry about all that. The XML is going to take care of it. Alright, so now we have our numbers. And put it exactly where you want it, okay? And get your numbers. And then before that, I'm going to explain something real quick. We're going to go back over here. We're going to go to D drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Farm Sim 22, Data, Placeables, Lizard, Liquid Manure Tank. I'm going to move this over so you can see a little better. Okay, so if we go under the extension one, it doesn't have the i3D, right? But if you open the XML document, hit Edit with Notepad++, you'll see why. It's calling the base tank i3D. Data, Placeables, Liquid Manure Tank, base tank, i3D. Okay, it still says it's the extension one, and it shows that in the store, and it has the picture of that, but it's calling the i3D of the other one. So basically they're one and the same, except the difference is it doesn't have those icons. So if you roll down here, you don't see those icons anywhere, and I'll show you what they look like when we click on the other one. So what we're going to do is we can click off of this one, or we'll leave it up. We'll leave it up for a second. We'll come back over here. We're going to back out of that, and we're going to click on the base tank one. And then we're going to click on the XML right there. Right click and edit with Notepad++. Now you can see it's calling the same information, the base tank i3D. But it's also calling the regular one up here for the picture. So it's doing both. Basically, the i3D for the base tank one and the extension is the same i3D, even though but they're calling it two different things. They're calling one an extension and one the regular. And if you roll down, you'll see this one has the information for the load and unload. So it has the marker icons. And this also has the teleport node. And if you'll remember, I said something about it may not be in this video, but I think it is, about the manure heap not having it where you can go visit. Well, this is why it doesn't have the node, the teleport thing to do it in the manure heap information area. It's simply in the manure one, it says hotspot type loading, and that's it. It doesn't have a node position or anything, or a teleport node or nothing. So that's why that one doesn't do it. So if you're wondering if there's what it is, it just because they didn't put one. Simple as the base game didn't put one. So don't worry about that one. But anyway, this one will have the icons because it does have them here. If the other one would have had this information, it would have had them in the other one. Okay, so you can see all the different things it needs, and it will do. It'll call this from the base tank i3D. So this XML that we put in our placeables XML just now, that information we went in game and we got it from the save game, then we put it in our placeables XML. That's this XML we're looking at now. It calls this XML, and this XML calls the i3D. It says go look here, go get this, go in that file, and grab that i3D. So what you do is you look over here, and there it is. There's the i3D they're telling it to grab. So if you put it next to it, you can read it. Data, data. Placeables, placeables. Lizard, lizard. Liquid manure tank, liquid manure tank. Base tank, base tank. Base tank i3D, and that's the base tank i3D. It got it all the way to there. This right here is what we put in the placeables XML. We put data, placeables, lizard, lizard manure tank, base tank dot XML in our placeables XML. So that's what we put there, and that's what it's going to call. And the small silo extension one calls the same i3D. Okay, so that's the difference. And the XML to it doesn't have the icons. Only the base tank one has the icons, not the extension to the small one. But if you look at the other one, it has it. So let's go look at the large one. Calls the large one. Now this one doesn't have the icons either. Okay. So I don't see the icons anywhere. So this one doesn't have the icons either. So it would strictly work off of that slurry thing from my understanding. Okay, I hope that helps. I hope I made sense. I was trying to explain it as carefully as possible. But anyway, we're good with all that. We can close that, close that. Don't want to erase any of it. Now we put the default farm property true here. All we got to do, since we brought this in now, go back to where you were, is to get these numbers. Now make sure the main group is highlighted, which is the parent. These are the children under here. Okay. Make sure the main group, transform group, is highlighted. Click at the end of the numbers in the translate X. Okay. Hit Shift Control C as in cat. Go back to the Notepad++ where your placeables XML information was. And you're going to come find the position, because that's for the translate one. I don't know why they didn't just keep it the same, but they didn't. Left click here, hold down left mouse button, drag over, let go. In between the quotation marks, right click and click paste. Go back to Giants Editor, click at the end of the rotate X at the end of the numbers. Shift Control C as in cat, let go. When I say all of them, that means you're pressing them all together. Okay. You're going to go back to the Notepad++, go between the quotation marks of the rotation one, right click and click paste. Now that you have this number either deleted completely, the whole ID and the number, and the quotation on that one, you would delete that whole piece and make sure that there was only one space between these two things, pretty much. I mean, you don't have to, but pretty much. And then, or change the number to make sure there's not another number. And then you're good to go. And make sure you have your default farm property true if it's on your main farm. If it's not, you shouldn't have to worry with that. Now we're going to hit save. Now we have that. Now, from my understanding, you don't need a store item for this But if you need one, I'm gonna just show you how to do it. I don't believe you need one though. So we're gonna go to D drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Farm 22, Data, Maps, Maps US. Go down to Store Items, right there. Right click and edit with Notepad++. And then see, they don't have one because they probably didn't even put one of them. They didn't put none of those particular types of animals. They put these other ones that has a whole built farm and everything with it. So what you can do is just take a line of information from here, like so. Right click and click copy, and then close this out so you don't delete anything. Then you're going to go back to your map, File Explorer, Documents, My Games, double click Farm Sim 22, double click Mods, double click the map you're working on, double click wherever your map is, okay? You're going to go to a Store Items folder if you have one, and if you don't have one, you're going to go into the mod desk, right click and edit with Notepad++, and then you would need a line of information like that, and a line of information like that, and then you need to put the line you copied in between them, and then you would right click and then hit paste, and then you would make sure the path, you would have to change the path to say it where that one is. Data, placeables, lizard, liquid manure tank, and then whatever else it said, base tank dot XML, whatever it said, whatever that path was. So that's if you need a store item, but I don't believe you need one, so we're not going to put one, okay? So, but if you need to do it under the store items, right click on that, edit with Notepad++, click here, hit enter, right click, click paste, then you get that line. Then you would change this to data, placeables, lizard, liquid manure tank, make sure it's capital and lowercase wherever that is, and then base tank dot XML. Hit save. That's if you need it, but I don't believe you need it, so I'm not putting it. But if somehow you need it, add it. Simple as that. Just add it. I'm gonna delete that. I don't need that, and then I'm gonna click up one and hit save, and we're gonna go back into the Giants editor. All right. So now that you've done that, you got two options. You could delete this one, make sure the whole thing's highlighted, hit delete and hit save, or put it in a placeholders folder. If you don't know how to do what a placeholders folder is or what to do, you want to make one, I have a playlist and you can look back in my video. It shows you how to make that placeholders. This is just buildings that are in the placeholders folder, so don't worry about none of that. But make the placeholders folder like it tells you how to do all this information. You got to do stuff here, then do this. But go watch that video, make the placeholders folder, and then put this liquid tank in this placeholders folder. And the way that you would do that is click on it, hold down the middle scroll wheel button, hold it down, don't let go, push the mouse up in the air a little bit toward the computer until you see the placeholders folder. Don't let go of that button that you're holding down, and then let go of it when it gets to placeholders. Then you can see that it put it in there, and you're good to go. It's going to hide this one from the end game, but it's going to keep it in here in Giants Editor, so you can still see that there's something there in the Giants Editor. Otherwise, you can delete it and hit save, and you're good. It's still going to be in the game because you put the numbers here in your placeables XML. That's what's making it appear in the game. They're calling it from the main game. The i3D from the main game, they're calling it. They're calling the XML, then the XML is calling the i3D from the main game. This one, you could delete and hit save, but then you won't have it in here, and you might accidentally plant a tree there. So most people want to put it in the placeholders folder to hold that spot so it stays there, so we can see it in Giants Editor as we're working on the map, but we won't have two of these, this one and these number ones that's in the placeables XML in the game. You'll have two in the game if you don't delete it or put it in the placeholders folder. If you put it in the placeholders folder, it hides it from the game reading it, and it only shows the number, the one that's in the placeables XML. So I know that some of you know it, but the new people don't, and I don't want to, that helps them understand what to do. They can get further along if I explain it again in this particular video. I don't like to repeat everything, but that's something I think is important. Alright, so we've got it in there. We're good to go. The only thing left to do, if you want to, is to put the career start point over here. Click on it. Control B as in boy. Left mouse click. Left mouse click. You can turn it to point the blue where you're going to be facing and hit save. Make sure you hit save. Now you're good to go. We can go in the game and check it. And I'm not going to do any kind of like testing. It's going to show the icons, but I'm not going to go putting cows in and all that. You got to have straw and water. It automatically has water in this one, so it should be okay to use this one. If not, you need to have it. You need to add this to the one that has the water option. This one don't have it. It has water. It just is automatic. It doesn't let us dump water. So I'm not sure if there's a discrepancy on if you can use this with this building or if you have to use it with the small cow barn. But either way, you'll know if it won't let you use it and the icons are there, then it may be that water conflict. I don't know. I hadn't messed with it in game, so I don't know if there is a conflict. But I'm not going to try to do all that in this video because it'll make the video too long, doing all that extra stuff, making the cows and doing everything. So you can test it. You got to have straw. These have to have straw when you use them. So if it doesn't have straw or food in the water, then obviously it's not going to work for that to get the manure or the liquid manure. So we're going to go in game and test it out, and then we'll call it a video. But this was a comment, and I've been wanting to post it, but I had some videos already ready to go to come out, and I didn't want to get them out of order because there was certain stuff that hadn't been done in the videos yet, like that would appear. So I'm trying to not pass up some of the other stuff and get ahead of myself. So that's why I hadn't posted it just yet. So we're going to go under 12 and hit delete, and then we can go under that one. We'll continue and go in, deselect, and hit start. And then we'll go see, and we'll know that it's there. And we'll have our icons, and everything will be there. Now the other ones you can use, but like I say, from my understanding, you got to keep them close enough to the building, and you should be able to empty it or what have you through the slurry tank little spot where they have it already on the cow barn. So it should be that's how it works. I'm not 100%. Like I said, I hadn't messed with the cows, so I don't know, other than in the Giants editor, I hadn't messed with them in game in regards to that. So just test that out and see. But that's how you get it in there. Alright, so here we are, we're facing it, and as you can see, there we go. We got the information, and obviously we wouldn't have it sitting like this, but this is just for tutorial's sake. But you can see we got all our stuff is in there, and you can see it has the whole deal. Okay, it says it's empty because it's empty, and this is the spot where it tells you about that, and that should be the slurry thing. And then you need straw and food and all, get all that going, get the cows to be able to use that. And then you got this one obviously here, same thing. See? So there you go, that's how you get it. And we pretty much done here. What you can do is hit escape and should be able to see the building, the icon, and be able to visit it because it had that in that information I was explaining. But if you click on the manure heap one, it doesn't have the visit because it didn't have the teleport thing and the node to go there in the XML. So that's why this one has it and the manure one don't. And I don't know why they didn't put it. I really don't. They just didn't want to, I guess. So this one you can visit, and you're good to go. And you can't visit the silo extension one either, from my understanding. So, but anyway, we're going to call that an episode. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.